Hi guys, welcome back to your Not So Ordinary Scrapbook channel. Today you are going to have a different view of my craft room. I'm trying to organize my paper today. That's my goal anyway. I needed to add a bin to put my cardstock over here because I'm running out of space and things are starting to get disorganized again, and I don't like that. So what I need to do is I need to separate the cardstock from the pattern paper, and then I'm going to color sort the cardstock. So I thought that I might as well take you guys along with me, and we could chat while I do it. So it seems like a lot has gone on the past few weeks, and it's like I feel like I need to catch you all up on what's going on. So first of all, I'm just gonna color sort while I chat. So I don't know what's the first thing we should talk about. Well, the most important thing is I got to meet my granddaughter, which was amazing. Finally, after all this time, I was able to spend time with her on last Saturday, and time with her on Sunday. So Sunday didn't work out quite as planned at first, but that wasn't 100% his mom's fault. I feel like I can't place the blame 100% on her for what transpired. But it could have been handled differently before the visit took place. So, but I'll fill you in on everything. So, we found out about, actually it was on Hunter's birthday. We found out the visitations were going to start. So Hunter's birthday was last week, and in the middle of the week, and he called me when him and Jordan were on their way up to Bloomington because they were going to do some shopping and go out to dinner for his 21st birthday. So and I was watching the little kids, and so I get this phone call first I get a text from Hunter that says, "Call me ASAP." And I was like, well, what's going on? Like, is there an emergency or something like that? Well, before I could even call him back, because I was dealing with some other stuff with the kids, he called me again, and I'm like, what's up? And he's like, I've got good news. And I'm like, tell me, what's your good news? And he said that he just got off the phone with his lawyer, and that visitations were going to start on Sunday because we were invited to her birthday party on Saturday by her mom and her mom's mom, so her other grandma. And so he said, our visitations are every other weekend, Saturday and Sunday from 12 to 3. So I said, okay, this is just for the transition time. The transition time is until October 3rd. And we have a transition time because she doesn't know us. She knows Hunter, but she doesn't know the rest of the family. So she needs time to get to know us, before other things take place. So, so he was all excited about that. And, which I don't blame him. I was super excited too. I was super excited for Saturday. So Saturday we get there to the birthday party, and her mom's outside, and she directs us to the backyard. And we're sitting there, her grandma's there. Several other people are there that we don't know. And then all of a sudden the mom comes out with our granddaughter, and she comes up and she just immediately starts being nasty to Hunter. Like immediately. She says, she looks at me and she says, he's the reason why you haven't met your granddaughter yet. He's the reason. It is because of me that you get to see her. And I was like, you know, I just was like, don't say a word, even though I know everything. And even though we fought tooth and nail for over a year to see her, you know, it was like, why say something that I already know is false? But I just didn't say anything. I was like, you know, I just let it be, because I was like, my main focus that day was on her, like 100% on my granddaughter. I did not care what she said to me. I was there to see my granddaughter and get to know her. So, then she says, she doesn't like people she doesn't know. She's very shy, and she won't go to anybody that she doesn't know. And I was like, okay, I understand, you know. She looks identical to my son. Like, she is a splitting image of my son at that age. Splitting image, except she's got a head full of curls. Hunter had a head full of curls too, but he didn't get them as soon as at her age, he did not have a head full of hair. That was more around age 2 that he had the hair that she has right now. So, well, her mom was like really holding tight to her, and her grandma went over there, and she's like, give her here. And she gave her to her mother, and her mother placed her on my lap. And she said, this is your granddaughter. And I tried to like contain myself, but it was impossible. I just started crying. Like, I was like, I've been waiting my whole life for this moment. Like, I literally have. You know, when you're a little girl and you like imagine like what it's gonna be like when you're a grandma. All those feelings just came flooding up inside me, and it was just an incredible moment that I'll never forget for as long as I live. And she was perfectly content on my lap. She acted like she knew me. She kept looking at me, and she acted like I'd known her whole life. And it was so interesting that she reacted that way. And she just was very comfortable there, and I held her for the longest time, and I talked to her, and oh, it was so nice. And then, you know, Hunter was sitting right next to me, and I said, do you want to go to your daddy? And she reached out to Hunter. She knows Hunter. She knows him. Even though she hasn't seen him since February, she knew Hunter was her daddy, because she reached out to him. He took her. She laid her head on his chest, just like, and she closed her eyes, like she knew he was her daddy. And I was like, that moment was just so precious, just to experience that love that you could see in her actions toward Hunter. And it was just very precious. And you know, we watched her open presents, and you know, eat her smash cake and all that stuff. And it was the rest of the afternoon was pretty awesome, to be honest. I mean, no one really came over and talked to us. Her mom didn't really come over and talk to us. our granddaughter's mom didn't really come over and talk to us the rest of the day. But apparently she, like, when Hunter was around Esme without me there, her mom was making, like, really snide, awful remarks to him. Like, apparently her mom, Esme's grandma, other grandma, she asked Hunter, she's like, now visitation starts tomorrow, and Hunter said yes. And she said, what time? And he told her, and this was like while Esme was like smashing her cake and shoving cake in her mouth and stuff. And Hunter said 12 to 3, and her mom said, that sounds good and stuff. Well, then Esme's mom came up and she blew up at Hunter. And she said, this is a birthday party. I don't want to talk about my business right now at a birthday party, which I understand. But Hunter was doing it quietly too with her mom. I couldn't even hear the conversation. I was sitting maybe 10 feet away. I didn't know what they were talking about. I just knew that they were talking. And her mom said, I asked the question, is what she told her daughter. She said, I asked the question. I wondered what time he was coming over tomorrow. And she said, well, that's my business. And her mom said, yeah, but they're meeting at my house. I would like to know. And she said, I don't want him talking to you about my business. You know, she's like, he can text that information or whatever. And it was just very, I don't know. I didn't know at that point that anything was being said. I just knew the three of them were talking, and I could tell from the look on Esme's face, or Esme's mom's face, that she was irritated at something. So Hunter comes back to us and he's like, let's go. He's like, and the mom she grabbed Esme and she's like, she's a mess. I need to take her in and give her a bath. And she was covered with cake. I mean, she was. So, Hunter's like, we gotta go. And I said, okay, and we were riding with Hunter because we'd been having horrible car issues, which I'll explain later. So we go, and the birthday party was pretty much over anyway, because it was like, she had already opened her gifts. We had already had cake. We already sang happy birthday, all that. Well, so we go back here, and Jordan is here with the little kids because she wanted to stay here while we were there, of course. And so Hunter fills us in on all the stuff that's going on, that we missed, when at the birthday party before he left. And he's like, I don't know why she just is so hateful. She's just so hateful. Well, so that night they went home. I think it was Saturday night. Or was that the night we went out to eat? No, that was Sunday. Okay, so then they went home and with the kids, and I think they had something going on, the two of them. So and so Hunter said, well, I'll pick you up in the morning and we'll go. And only I could go. And according to the court order, it says that you have to let her know 24 hours in advance if either Scott or I are gonna go, because we're the only ones allowed to go at this point. And but we have to let them have 24 hours in advance. Well, Hunter said, I'm never going to go over there alone because she will attack me, and she will accuse me of things that I did not do. She's done it in the past, and I don't trust her. And I said, that's understandable. So he had told her Friday, he had texted her, and he said, my mom is going to come with me on Saturday, but he made the mistake of texting, if that's okay. Well, she texted back, no, it's not okay. The first visit, I want just you and me. And Hunter said, that's not going to work. He's like, my mom, I want my mom there. And she said, no. And so then he made the mistake of, okay. He said, okay, and then I'll see you at the birthday party tomorrow. So that's what he said on Friday. So then at the birthday party on Saturday, he was trying to give another 24-hour, he was trying to let her mom know that I was coming with. So he told her mom that I was coming with, and her mom said, that sounds good. Well, apparently Randy said that, or the mom said that that didn't count because he told her mom and not her. Well, she was right there. She was standing right there when he said it. But that's neither here nor there. So then we get there on Sunday at our time at noon, like we're supposed to, and she won't let us in the door. She says, you didn't give me 24 hours notice that your mom was coming. You can come in, but she can't. Hunter said, I'm not going in there if she's not going in, if she can't come in. I gave you 24 hours notice. She said, no, you didn't. He said, I texted you on Friday. She said, you asked if it was okay. And he said, I don't have to ask. In the court order, it just says I have to let you know. And so that started this huge screaming match between the two of them. She just started letting in on him, just screaming and swearing at him. And I'm standing there, and my little granddaughter is at the door listening to her parents scream at each other, which was so nice. Well, I have never heard Hunter get so angry in my life. I mean, he was mad, and he was shouting back. I mean, she started shouting first, but he started shouting back, and he was like, and she's like, you can come back or your mom can wait in the car for an hour, and then when my mom gets back, then she can come in. And Hunter's like, no, she's coming in now, or I'm leaving. And she's like, oh, so you don't want to see your daughter? And it was just like back and forth. And I was just like, hold it. Stop, both of you. I'd had enough. I was like, stop. I said, this is not good for either one of you. My granddaughter is in the doorway. I said, and she is hearing all of this, and your two other children are looking through the window and they're hearing all of this. This is not good. I said, we can make a compromise. And Hunter's like, no, I'm not going to compromise with her. I'm tired of compromising with her. I said, Hunter, listen to me. I said, you need to compromise. I said, we will leave and we will come back in an hour. Hunter's like, I'm not coming back. If I leave, I am not coming back. And just like, ugh. And then she says to me, she says, Amy, if you'd like to stay and sit on the porch, you're welcome to stay until my mom gets back, and then I'll give you a ride home. And I'm like, are you joking me? Did you honestly just say that to me? So sweet and syrupy. And Hunter's like, come on, Mom, we're leaving. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then she's like, well, I know you want to get to know your granddaughter, and just being so syrupy sweet. And I'm like, how did I end up in a mess like this? How? I mean, even Scott and I don't fight like that. But no, that we don't even fight like that. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. So we're like, so Hunter's like, come on, Mom, we're going. So I follow him out. We get in the car, and he's like, oh, I hate that woman. I hate that woman so much, you know. And I'm like, Hunter, I said, sometimes in life you have to compromise. I said, I understand you want me there to be your support system. She wants her mom there to be her support system. Her mom is not there right now, and she'll be back in an hour. I said, they live like 10 miles from us. We can drive home, wait an hour, and come back. He's like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of her doing this. I'm tired of her games and all that. And he's just like totally blowing up. Well, we get home, and, you know, I'm trying to reason with him to compromise. And, I said, Hunter, you have not been able to spend very much time with your daughter, and your focus needs to be on your daughter, not on her behavior or anything. It has to be, your daughter needs to be put first, ahead of the way your relationship is. That should not even matter. I said, you need to focus on your daughter. And so he was just like, he was really just so ticked off. I mean, like, not at me. He was ticked off at the situation. So we're sitting in the car, and I said, I am going to go in the house, and I'm going to have a cup of coffee. And he said, she just texted me. And I said, what'd she say? And he said, she said, if we want to wait until her mom comes back, that we can continue the visitation at 1 o'clock instead of noon, which the visitation was supposed to be from noon till 3. So we lost an hour, but that's okay. It was plenty of time. We had plenty of time with her. So he was like, I don't want to go. I'm not going back there. I am not going to go back there. And I said, Hunter, I said, do you know how bad it's going to look if you don't go back there? And he said, I don't want to go back there. And I said, Hunter, I said, it will look very bad if you do not go back there, because she is offering to compromise through a text that she probably screenshot, and she can show her lawyer. And if you refuse, that's looking like you don't want to see your daughter. I said, she'll use it against you. And I said, besides, I said, you know, if she blows up at you again, you know, we'll document everything, and you can talk to your lawyer about it. And he said, he was just like not wanting to go. And he's like, fine, you know, we'll go or whatever. So I came in the house, and I just kind of left him alone for about an hour because he needed to cool off. Actually, I made an excuse that I needed, my prescriptions were ready at Walgreens. And because our cars weren't running properly, I kind of was like, I need to get him like busy so he gets his mind off of this before we have to go over there. So I was like, why don't can you and Dad go pick up my prescription? Because Scott was out there talking to him, because he heard us pull up and he wanted to know what was going on. And Hunter was still, at that point, he was still like pretty upset about the whole thing. And so Scott's like, let me talk to him. I said, okay. And so I went in the house, and I went out real quick, and I said, hey, you guys, I said, before we have to head over there, can you run over to Walgreens and pick up my prescriptions? Well, that kind of like that little trip for them to pick up the prescriptions kind of cooled Hunter off. So, and he got to talk to his dad, so that helped. But, that hour went very quickly, and we went over there a second time. Her mom was home, and, we were invited in, and, you know, she came right to me. You know, her mom was at first, like, when we first walked in the door, her mom was like, you know, kind of holding on tight to her, like she didn't, I don't know, she's very, I mean, I can't accuse her of anything, because being a mom, I understand those feelings of, like, relinquishing your child to people that you don't know. I mean, and to a man that you no longer are with, even though you made a baby with them. I mean, I can empathize with her feelings, as well as I can empathize with Hunter's feelings as well. And then there's my feelings that, you know, that I take into consideration as well. But my feelings are last, you know. I'm just kind of there to get to know my granddaughter and kind of make sure that things don't get out of hand. So, so I sat on the floor and I played with her for a really long time with her toys, and you know, her mom sat down and she asked me if I had any questions about her, and I asked all kinds of questions about her, like how many teeth she has, and she has 2 teeth on the bottom, and none of her top teeth are through yet, but you can see the white, like where they're popping through. 4 of them actually on top are like trying to push through, and all at once. And oh, her favorite toy is this like rubber stretchy rat, which is kind of funny. Her mom said that it was a Halloween gag that a friend had given her, and Esme just loves it. It's her favorite toy, and she takes it to bed with her every night. It's like this black Halloween rat, which is kind of funny. She is not a picky eater, which is totally unlike Hunter. She'll eat almost everything but green beans. She doesn't eat baby food. She doesn't like baby food, which is interesting because Hunter never really cared for baby food either. Oh, what else? She's not walking yet, but she can stand up independently. Like, she doesn't have to be holding onto anything. She can get into, like, she'll get into a squatting position, then she'll stand up, and she'll stand there, but she won't move. And she crawls everywhere, of course, and she sits up pretty well, as far as, like, you know, she just turned 1, so she's pretty good at that. She does fall down sometimes, like, when she's standing, she'll like squat, get in the squatting position, stand up, and then she'll fall over if you're not careful and you have to catch her, because her grandma's floor is like hardwood. And so there's that. And then we just played with her, and Hunter played with her, and I asked what size she was, and oh gosh, I asked all kinds of questions about her. And so it was pretty pleasant. And then her mom got on the floor, and after a little bit, she started wanting to talk to Hunter about their relationship. And this is where it started to turn ugly. Because it was actually Hunter's fault, which oh gosh. He told her, and like, now was not the time. Like, this first visit was not the time to bring this up. But it's Hunter and Jordan are going to get married. In fact, he already ordered the engagement ring, and he just is trying to decide on when he's going to propose and how. Jordan knows because she picked out the ring, but she doesn't know when he's going to propose. Esmeralda's mom hates Jordan for no reason. She hates her. She hits below the belt too, which I'll tell you in a minute how awful that is. But she started in on Hunter about not wanting her to ever have contact with Jordan, with the baby ever having contact with Jordan. And Hunter said that's impossible. And she said, why? And she said, well, he said, what if I marry Jordan? And she's like, oh, hell no. She's like, no, she's never gonna have contact with her. She's a snake. I don't like her, and Hunter's like, and I'm just sitting there knowing Jordan the way that I do. And Jordan is a wonderful woman. She is caring and compassionate. She has raised foster children. She has a heart for children. And, she has adopted a child with special needs. She's currently raising a foster child that's an infant. She helps raise her brothers and sisters. She works as a para. I mean, all these things. And I've gotten to know Jordan pretty well over the last year. And I adore Jordan. I think she's a wonderful person. But the only thing that Esmeralda's mom could come up with that the reason why she didn't want Jordan to see her is she's like, well, her daughter died in her care. And I said, what? I said, her daughter wasn't supposed to live. Lainey wasn't supposed to live. Lainey was born with this kind of cephaly where she had holes in her brain. And she wasn't even supposed to live a month, much less 8.5 years. How she died was during the night, children that are special needs will sometimes get in positions that are awkward. Like even Mini Jordan, we have to be careful and watch him constantly. And she has a special monitor on him, and she had a special monitor on Lainey too, but it did not alert her. It didn't go off to alert her that something was going on. But she got wedged in a position where she passed away, and she always had a lot of mucus, so she could have choked on her mucus. There was nothing to investigate. She had outlived her life expectancy, and nothing, it was not her fault. And to even accuse a mom of doing that to her child when it just happened. I mean, it was nobody's fault. It just happened. And, it's just so below the belt. It was awful. And she said, I don't trust her with my daughter because of that. And Hunter said, it was not her fault that Lainey died. And she's like, yeah, but she was there. She was there when her daughter died. And I was like, oh man, woman, that's so nasty. That's just so mean to say. I can't even imagine saying that to someone. It's just so awful. And you don't tell people whose children have passed away that it's their fault when their child has a disability. They do everything they can for that child. And I know Jordan, and she would do anything for her children. She loved Lainey. She took very good care of Lainey. and they wouldn't have given her more foster kids had she been to blame for Lainey's death. It just was horrible for her to even bring that subject up. But, just awful. Well, then her mom pipes in, and her mom's like, yeah, and I don't think that Esmeralda should ever have contact with Corey and Michelle either. Well, Corey and Michelle are her daughter's step-parents. So, of course, she doesn't like Michelle because Michelle married her ex-husband. So, I mean, I can understand that. And I said, that's up to you guys. I mean, if you don't want them to have contact with people in your family, that's fine. I said, that's entirely up to you guys. I'm not going to go against your wishes and let her see people you don't want her to see that are part of your family. I just want her to get to know our family. And so then her mom says something that just struck me very, very odd. She's like, well, I don't care if she gets to know you and your husband, but I don't think it's necessary for her to know all of your family. And I was like, hold up. Hold up. Her great-grandparents already love her. If they didn't love her, they would not have helped Hunter to hire a lawyer. My sisters love her already, even though they have never met her. My brother loves her, even though he has never met her. She has cousins that love her. You cannot deny her access from members of my family just because you don't know them. I have a good family. There is no reason for that. No reason whatsoever. So I was like, you know, I didn't say anything to her at all. Like, I never said a word. I never said any of the words that I just said. But all that was running through my brain. I was like, however, my dead body, that will go to court. No, you can't deny her the right to get to know parts of my family. If you want to keep her from seeing parts of your family, that's your business, but not my family. My family doesn't work that way. So that like changed my opinion of her mom quite drastically. I was like, because it made me think, because up until that point, I thought her mom was pretty helpful. Like, her mom was like wanting this to go smoothly and everything. And then I thought, after she said that, I'm like, wow, you're kind of like your daughter. I'm like, and then, you know, and I don't know. She just, like, it started to get kind of uncomfortable. I felt like, oh, what was the word that I used when I came home? I'm like, I really felt, I can't even think of that word right now. I felt uneasy, but I felt like they were looking for something. Like, they were looking for a reason to attack us or something. I just felt very, very, like, I understood how Hunter felt at that point. I was like, you guys are, you know, I just felt like at that point, I was like, I do not want to do visitations at their house anymore. Like, I want it to be at a neutral place. Because it was almost like I felt like I was in a Black Widow's nest. And so was Hunter. And, like, we're fighting for survival. Because they could pretty much say whatever they wanted to us in their house. And, like, we didn't really have a choice but to listen to it. And I was like, oh, boy. Well, Esme at that point, I mean, it had been over an hour. And the mom just kept wanting to rehash her relationship with Hunter. And I was like, you know what? We're not here for that. we're not here. And I did speak up at that point. I'm like, we're not here to talk about you guys' past relationships, because she kept wanting to say that Jordan was the reason why they broke up. And I said, Hunter, I said, that is ridiculous. And Hunter even said that too. Hunter said that, first of all, he's like, you broke up with me in April, and I did not even start dating Jordan until July. He's like, that is quite a few months. And he's like, she was dating somebody else in April. So how in the world? He's like, no. And I remember that. I remember April explicitly, and Hunter was devastated when she broke up with him. He was devastated. It was just like, and she's like, well, we weren't technically broke up. And I'm like, we're not talking about this right now. We're not here to talk about what did or did not happen. This is not the time or place. This is a visitation. And I was like, why is she even there? I mean, like, I don't understand this whole visitation thing. I mean, I know it's a transition period, like, and, you know, it's okay if the mom is there and if the grandma's there, but don't talk about things that are not related to the child. That's not cool. So, anyways, Esme was starting to get tired, and she's lovely. She's got a head full of curls and blonde, reddish blonde hair, and oh my gosh, she's got Hunter's face and the prettiest blue eyes you ever saw, and just a tiny little thing. She's wearing like 12 months clothes. I mean, she's average size for a 1-year-old, but she's, you know, she's not big at all, or chubby or anything like that. She's just the most beautiful baby. Just the most beautiful baby. And so we went home, and Hunter was just like, I told him, I felt very uncomfortable. I said toward the end, I felt extremely uncomfortable in their house. I said, I do not like the fact that we have to go over to their house for this. I said, because I feel like we're trapped in a place that we have no control over it. It's almost like we have to listen to whatever they say to us, and we can't do anything about it. And Hunter's like, I'm talking to my lawyer tomorrow, which was this past Monday. And he told Jordan everything, and except for I told Hunter, I said, it's not necessary to tell Jordan about what she said about Lainey. I said that's below the belt, and that's just gonna you don't tell people that. That's just horrible. It's nobody's fault that it happened, and we all know that, and that does not. And he goes, I know. He goes, I wasn't gonna tell her. And I said, good. I said, because she said that just to hurt her and to hurt you, because you care about her. And I have all this 8.5 by 11 white paper. So that night we decided to go out to dinner in Clinton to celebrate meeting our granddaughter. And then we found out that our youngest son, well, we knew like that he had been hired at Eaton, where everybody else works except me. We knew that like the middle of last week. He had a drug test on Thursday, I believe, last Thursday. No, he had the interview last Thursday, or the phone interview on Wednesday, the physical interview on Thursday, the drug test on Friday, and then we found out on Saturday night that his start date is this coming Monday. So in 3 days. So So we wanted to celebrate that too, that he got a job and stuff. And Dustin was over and he wanted to come because he'd never been to Monocle's before. And so we rode with Dustin, and Hunter and Jordan and the kids went to her house. And no, she wasn't with him. No, it was just me. I rode with Hunter out there. Ethan and Scott rode with Dustin out to Clinton. And then we all stopped to pick up Jordan and Mini Jordan and Kaysen. And then we went to Monocle's and we had pizza. And so we did that. And then we rode home with Dustin. Dustin gave us a ride home because Dustin lives in Lincoln and Hunter and Jordan live in Clinton. So, so that's what we did. And then, so that was pretty much everything with Esme. For her birthday, I did not give her all the gifts that we had gotten her. Just because when she's able to come here, we're going to have another birthday party for her. With my family and, you know, with the family that wasn't able, with Scott's mom and stuff, because she hasn't gotten to meet her yet either. So, so we wanted to do that. But but Hunter did talk to his lawyer. He went in on Monday morning with Jordan. Well, Jordan had to work because school has started. And she had to go in a couple days early to get the classroom ready. And she started work, I believe, on Tuesday because school is back in session. But our vehicle situation... Oh my gosh. So last Wednesday was when Scott's vehicle was supposed to be done at the shop. We took it in on Monday. Was it Monday? We dropped it off on Monday. They said they'd have it done on Wednesday. They had to order a new transmission. That the transmission would be there on last Wednesday. And then they could get it done. And he said he'd have it ready. He'd like take everything out that needed to be taken apart. And it would be ready to put in on Wednesday. Well, it wasn't ready on Wednesday. And he told us it would be ready on Friday. And then he told us that the part still hadn't arrived. That they were still waiting for the shift assembly. And so we waited. And we thought that it would be done over the weekend. Still not done. So then we didn't hear from him all day Monday, all day Tuesday. And we're like, what the heck? Why is it taking so long? Well then, and Scott's like, I think I'm bugging him too much because I'm like texting him every day. I'm like, well, we are kind of desperate because my car is not working right either. And when we pick up his vehicle, we're going to drop off my vehicle. Because there's something wrong with my vehicle. Hopefully it's not the transmission as well. I don't have any idea how much that's going to cost or what is even wrong with it. So then he said, well, the part came in and that he could have it done before Friday. Well, today's Friday and it's not quite done. Or was it Thursday? No, it was last night. It was supposed to be done last night. But then he realized that the drive shaft needed to be replaced yesterday as well, that it was shot. And so he had to order that part. And that part was supposed to get there this morning. And he said it would be done by 8 p.m. tonight. So Scott took my car to work. And he is taking some time off, like an hour. He's leaving work when he texts them that the car is done. And then he's going to pick it up. And then and he's going to leave Daisy there so they can work on Daisy. And then I'll find out probably within the next couple days what is wrong with Daisy and how much that is going to cost. Which this has, like, in total, they quoted us $2,013, but with the drive shaft that added $200. So that is, let's see, $2213 is the total with labor, which is not horrible considering that it's been there for 2 weeks, but ugh. I just hope my car is not that much. It's probably going to be more though, because it's a Lincoln Navigator and it's, the parts on my vehicle are so expensive. I told Scott, I said, if it is like more than what the vehicle's worth, I am going to buy a different car. I love Daisy and I don't want to get rid of her and I don't want a car payment, but if I don't have a choice, I don't have a choice. So, I don't know. Unless I look for a car outright to buy, like a used car. But we'll see. I'm praying that they can fix Daisy though, because Daisy's still in good shape. She just is, like I told Scott, I said she's sick. She needs to go to the doctor. She's my friend. I'd be very sad if I had to get rid of Daisy. I was sad when I wrecked in a well. Made me sick. But it is what it is. But that's the car drama. And so today we should have our vehicle back, and then we have to go to town on Sunday. This weekend we don't have visitation with Esmeralda. That is next weekend. So, and I told Hunter, I said, oh, and what his lawyer told him, he said, try to grin and bear it for like at least until October 3rd when the transition period is over. And he said, if we need to, we can take it to court and do like a short hearing and reevaluate everything, because she signed the papers. So, I mean, technically, she was in agreement with what was, oh, I already did do that. Okay, these are already out of here. Okay. So she agreed with everything. But like in the next visitation, if we're cut short again, that's not gonna fly. But he told us, he said, document everything, every single thing, every time that she blows up, what it's about, just document everything. And he's like, if it happens that we have to take it back to court, he's like, we'll do that. He said, but for now, he said, just try to, he's like, ignore what she says to you and just, he said, just document everything. He said, and we'll discuss it in court. He said, try not to, like, even talk to her. Like, if she's going to cause a stink and she's not going to want you to have your entire time with your daughter, he's like, those things need to be documented. If she's physically or verbally abusing you, he said, then that needs to be discussed. And I said, well, I will be there. So, I mean, I don't know I don't think it would come to that. She doesn't appear to be like a physically violent person, but her words are extremely cutting and extremely hurtful. I mean, I can see it in his face when she says some of the stuff that she does, that she is just like, because nothing she is saying is true. And I know this because all the things that she brings up are from when Hunter lived at home. And when she says, well, I called and I tried to set this up and I tried to do this. And I'm thinking to myself, no, you didn't. Because he was heartbroken. She can say all she wants that she tried to set up times with us, but that is not true. Every time we tried to set up a time to meet the baby, it didn't work for her. She canceled. She would cancel their visitation times, his visitation times with her daughter, to a time that she knew. Like, he would tell her, okay, let's set up for this date, but I can't do it on this date because I have to work, or I have plans or whatever. And then she'd switch it to the date that he had plans. And it was done intentionally. She'd call and she's like, how come you're not coming to see your daughter? And he's like, I told you I have plans. I can't come. And he's like, she'd be like, well, change your plans. Your daughter should be the most important thing. And it's like, some things can't be changed. You can't just it's just all manipulation. And that's just, it's wrong. It's not right. And for me, the one time that I talked to her on the phone, she's like, I want you to see your granddaughter. I want you to. And at that point, we didn't know that she even was for sure our granddaughter. I mean, all we were going by was what she told Hunter. But I would say, well, how about this Saturday? And she's like, oh, no, that won't work. And I'm like, well, how about in 2 weeks? No, that won't work. I mean, every time. Or she'd be like, well, I have to talk to my mom. I have to talk to my mom. It was always there was always something. And that's not being willing to negotiate. It's just being, I don't know. But that's neither here nor there. We're just going to grin and bear it, like the lawyer said, until October 3rd. And then that contract is up for the transition period. And then after the transition period, then we're going to have more solid, stuff. And so the lawyer said that Hunter is asking for the bare minimum, and even her lawyer said that. Her lawyer is kind of annoyed with her because Hunter is literally asking for the bare minimum. And she doesn't want him to even have the bare minimum. She wants to control everything. But so we're just playing, we're just going with the flow. Until that time, I'm just so thankful that I got to meet her. That's really all I wanted. Man, I wanted to meet her so bad. And I'm so thankful that I got that chance to meet her. It was the most wonderful experience. And I can't wait to get to know her better. She is just precious. I would do anything for her. She's just the most beautiful, sweet baby in the whole world. I couldn't have asked for a sweeter little granddaughter. So that's pretty much it. Other than, Hunter ordering Jordan's engagement ring last night. He texted me and he showed me a picture. He's like, I ordered it. And I'm like, so when's the big day? And he goes, I don't know. He's like, I said, do you have any ideas on how you're going to do it? And he said, no. He goes, I have a few, but he said, nothing solid. And I said, there's a lot of ideas on Pinterest, or there's, you can ask your brother and your sister-in-law some neat ideas, just ask around. I said, I don't have any off the top of my head. So I don't ever want to be that type of mom who tells my kids what they should do. I want them to be able to, if they come to me and ask, that's one thing, but I'm not going to put like ideas in their head or like say, okay, I want you to do this or that, or like, so these people have to be in your wedding and all this stuff. I felt like Yesenia kind of had that. I think that people were in her wedding that she wasn't super thrilled about, that she wouldn't have had that many people in her wedding if it was her choice, but like it was expected by her family to have certain relatives in her wedding, and it made her wedding party super large. And but I mean, their wedding was absolutely the most beautiful wedding I had ever seen. So I mean, it was beautiful. I don't know what to say about it other than it was perfect. It just, from what I could see, being the mother and the mother-in-law, the mother of the groom and the mother-in-law, it was the most beautiful wedding. It didn't seem like anything went wrong or anything. Like there were no fights. There were no like people getting drunk. No, like no one had to call the cops or anything. It was pretty wonderful. So, and I imagine that Hunter and Jordan someday will be like that too. I'm hoping that they at least wait until 2024 to get married. Only because I would like a break in between weddings. Like if we have to help with this wedding too, which I'm sure we will want to, because it's like such an, weddings are so expensive right now. I don't think that Hunter and Jordan will have as fancy or as an expensive wedding as Matt and Yesenia, just because of where we live. It will be local, and they're just a different type of people. They're not like, Jordan is pretty laid back. I could see them getting married at the park or something. I don't know. We'll have to see what they want to do, but I don't expect that their wedding will be super expensive. But I'm still hoping that it's like, give us a year off. I need a year off to recoup from the last wedding. So, and Matt and Yessie leave for their honeymoon in Greece in just a few weeks, which is super exciting. I'm shocked that they were able to pay that off, like, this far in advance of the honeymoon, but they said they got a lot of money for gifts for their wedding, and that what mostly paid for their honeymoon, so that was nice. So I know they're gonna have a wonderful time. So, and I need a vacation. I've just kind of came up with that. Like, I really feel cooped up. I need to get away, like, for the weekend or whatever, just somewhere. Just to unwind and, like, not have to think about anything. But I don't know if that's even a reality right now with all the expensive car stuff and everything, but I could really use to get away. And I feel like I've taken probably more vacations this year than I have in like recent years, but I just don't feel rested. Like, I don't feel like I've rested from any of it. But I am looking forward to Ethan working now, because of one main reason, and I'm excited for him in his future too, But like, selfishly, for my own sake, I'm excited because I am going to be the only one home at night. And I am the only one that's going to be cooking dinner for myself. And no one is going to like monopolize like anything like in the house. I can pretty much do like, I will still be working, but like when I'm not working, I can work out. Like my plan is to work out like every single night. And then also I can like buy foods that are like super healthy, so I can like focus on like eating right better. I mean, because nobody else is going to be home, so it's just going to be me. So I'm kind of excited about that. I'm kind of excited to explore like different things that I can cook, and like, which is totally new to me because it's like, you know, I've had kids all these years that I had to cook for, or family and stuff, and the guys are all going to be working like, I mean, like most of the guys work 6 days a week. So, but I'm excited to like form a new routine where I have time to like work out for like, I used to work out for a couple hours, you know, a day when I was really young. I don't know if I have that kind of stamina anymore, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting process. So, okay. So I'm done sorting. I have no idea how long this is. No idea whatsoever. Let me take a look. I'm kind of scared to press it this way. Oh, it's 1 hour and 6 minutes. Okay, I'll stop here. And I think the next video, what I'll do is I'll just sort my cardstock into color stacks. So this here will all be like, each color will be separated, if you can see that. So like I have all my cardstock there now. I have pattern paper there. I have 2 bins of pattern paper, if you can see them. And then I have more pattern paper overflow over there. So I think I have enough paper for a while. I have like 3 bins full, and then like a half of like file bin full. So, and it's a good thing you can't see on the left of me because it's a complete disaster. So, but this area is pretty well organized right now after I color sort all of that. And I'm not going to color sort my pattern paper because that just, there's no point in it. Most of the pattern paper is all different colors, and it's just too difficult to decide on a color to sort it. So I'm just not even going to go there. So, but I thank you all for watching, and sorry if I got a little like, I don't know, personal with all my on and on stuff, you know, talking or whatever. But I like to share with you guys, and sometimes it's nice to just get it off my chest and like just, you know, what is it called? Word vomit. Yeah. So, but I will see you later. Bye.